Even in the saddest period of the year, at least at the box office, moviegoers are happy to see this particular film. Smile. In fact, it finished its second weekend with a grin from ear to ear, and for good reason. It's pretty good, and it didn't cost that much money. But the box office doesn't seem to be so rosy for everybody else. In fact, there's a decent chance that major studios won't have much to beam about in 2023 either, and for good reason. Let's take a look. Here we go. When you spend $17 million on a horror film, you expect to make a profit, and you usually do. Paramount continues to actually build on a very solid year of, well, many types of releases. I mean, who can forget Top Gun Maverick, one of my favorite films of the year, if not my favorite. Top Gun Maverick, RRR, kind of tied at the moment. But look, to date, Smile is nearly a $50 million domestic box office, at least for right now. As of this recording, it's probably more. And when you total in the global box office, which it sort of lags, so we may not even be right there, it's around $89 million. Now, it had an incredibly impressive hold this last weekend. It only fell 22%. And this film actually has a shot at hitting its global projection of $230 million. That's amazing. And it could be more. Again, international numbers do lag a bit, at least as far as reporting goes, so it could go to 50 or more. Now that is a big win for Paramount. But Smile is actually in, well, rarefied air. Let's put it that way. And at the moment, the balance of this weekend's offerings, especially the film Amsterdam, are, well, bad. They're just not yielding the impressive numbers that you need if you're a major studio releasing one of these projects. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised Lyle Lyle Crocodile did as well as it did. But this is an ongoing trend. The movie-going habit has been broken. Well, maybe. If I were a cinema owner, chain owner, whatever, or if I were a major studio, I'd be a little bit worried. I'd actually be quite disturbed. With very little to offer in the future in the form of blockbusters, audiences will take the remaining 3 tentpoles and, well, figure out what they're going to do with them. If Avatar 2, The Way of Water, doesn't make a splash, well, then the drought for these studios could continue, and it could go on for a long period of time. Why? Well, 2023 is not exactly going to be a bank breaker either. In fact, several anticipated releases like Rogue Squadron, Star Trek Boar, and Blade are either completely off the board for 2023, that's when they were slated, or they're on life support in the case of Blade, which who knows what's going to happen. Which is why that Armor Wars film probably got, like, upgraded from a TV show, but hey, that's speculative, and we'll get there in a second. When it comes to other things that are on the horizon, such as, well, Super Mario Brothers, the movie, well, that received very lukewarm reception, at least as far as the trailer was concerned, with a lot of people not being impressed by Chris Pratt's voice. Well, I don't think he changed it for the film, and I think that that probably will hurt that film in the long run. And obviously, The Flash has now wrapped up what was reportedly its 3rd round of reshoots here not that long ago in an effort to try to rescue that film. I'm talking about good money after bad when it comes to that particular project. I think you would agree. And if you count Flash actually as a tentpole, then that gives you 15 potential tentpole blockbusters in all, at least for 2023. And some of those are not going to make it. Like, for whatever reason, I don't think Barbie is a blockbuster, but hey. And if you total up all of the films out there for 2023, at least as far as the American studios are concerned, there's really only about 70 films that are slated for the entire year. It's going to be a very weak earnings year at the box office once again. It might even be lower than this year and the previous year. That's saying something. And of course, at the same time, amongst all those films we just talked about, the 70 or so, 3 of them are complete modernity remakes, with all of the cringe they can muster to shove in there, which would include Disney's remake of The Little Mermaid. Another Fast film, of course, is going to be making its way into the theaters, and, well, it'll do more business internationally than it will here in the US, as those films are dwindling in popularity, to say the least. There are 4 Marvel films in all, possibly 5 if they can actually, pull Blade out of the fire. But again, they converted Armor Wars for a reason from a television program, and that was essentially the emergency replacement for Blade, because that thing is troubled. Let's just say it that way. Only one of the Marvel films this year will likely do $1 billion, or even approach it, and that, of course, would be the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 film, and that, of course, is the case. Then you're going to end up with a lot of stories that are calling for the demise of the superhero film, and, well, who gets tired of that for the umpteenth time? Me. Probably you too. And returning to this year's last 3 tentpole projects, let's roll it back to 2022. The projections are placing Black Adam at a total of about $670 million, and that's about 328 or so domestic. I think that's a little high, but it puts it kind of paired with the previous performance of unknown characters in the DC universe. Black Panther 2 is slated to go on an $850 million global run, again, under $1 billion, and domestically $428 million or so, which is going to put it below its first drop and with the first Black Panther film, and also it's going to, it's going to disappoint global audiences as far as the box office return, not the film itself. And of course, for Avatar 2, The Way of the Water, well, that's slated for about $1.2 billion globally, and I still think that's optimistic. I don't think it's going to earn anywhere close to what it earned in its previous iteration. In fact, if you see the re-release, that didn't exactly perform well at the box office either. Now, of course, I think all of those projections are very optimistic. I think that these films are being, well, the guesswork here is a little iffy, because macroeconomic situations are affecting everybody now in a bigger, well, I should say, in a larger and larger way. And I think the closest to reality projection here is probably Black Adam, and that film I don't think is going to do gangbusters, at least. If you look at the last couple of DC releases, well, they didn't go off so well. Which means that the box office king is going to remain Top Gun 2 Maverick. That's right. At least it'll keep the throne for 2022. That makes me happy. But if we turn our eye to actual net profits this year, well, that would be an entirely other video, because I just don't have time. I don't think that the studios made a whole lot of money this year, absent, the wonderful success that Paramount enjoyed. I do think Sony did quite well, but I think that there's some red on some other balance sheets, and I don't think that you can argue with that. But hey, what do you think? Do you think the last remaining tentpoles that we have for this year are going to take down Top Gun Maverick? Do you think that the monthly box office earnings will rise in 2023? 2022 didn't exactly do great guns, so we'll see about that. But let me ask this: are you going to go see any of these films coming out? Not just the end of this year, but next year? Is there anything you're really looking forward to? Maybe the John Wick film. And with that, I'll suggest once more that you support independent creators here on this platform, and specifically, or more specifically, on Rumble and Odyssey. Why? Well, because those particular platforms allow people to speak freely. And sometimes you have to measure your words when you are participating in other places. And that's a real shame. It's a shame that we're afraid of freedom of speech, and we're afraid of opinion in a country that, well, essentially is reliant on it, at least here in the United States. But do support those independent creators wherever you find them, the people that you enjoy consuming content from. They absolutely deserve it. And obviously they're facing the same kind of financial crunch. That well, we all are. So your support is magical. So, share out their content, make comments, hit the like button, be sure you're subscribed, turn on all your notifications, and of course, send them super chats and things like that. It doesn't hurt, and it helps them a lot. Now with that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. Oh, and check out some shorts I've got coming out this week. And until next time, bye. Quick note, I do in the description have all of the links to the articles you can peruse yourself, and you can dive down the same digital rabbit hole that I did. There's a lot more out there, and it's a subject worth study. So, you know, feel free to dive in. That'll also help us have a conversation about this. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.